Jasmine Hardin joins me in this spotlight conversation in observance of Women's History Month. Hey, Jasmine, how's it going?
Hello, hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be welcomed here and share this space with everyone. Like you mentioned, my name is Jasmine Hardin. I am another podcast host as well for the platform Let's Talk About It. Like I said, exciting to be here. This is actually my first collaboration, with being a guest. I've done my own collabs, but being a guest, so it's an honor, just to say the least. It's an honor to be here, especially during this month. It means a lot for you to, want to reach back and give me an opportunity to share. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, you are definitely welcome. Women's History Month, right?
Correct.
But before we totally jump off the into the deep end, just tell us a little bit about who Jasmine Hardin is.
Yes. Look, the easiest subject to talk about.
Right.
No, I am 24 years old. I am a current first year law student at the University of Baltimore School of Law.
Ooh.
Um, it's been a journey to get here, of course. Doesn't happen overnight. I started my podcast probably about, I want to say 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Um, Not too long after COVID, it had been an idea that I wanted to do for a long time. For various reasons, as you grow and develop as an individual, sometimes you want to do something for some silly reason, and then you want to be serious. So once
Yes.
once I got a little bit older, and then like I said, COVID really presented an opportunity for reflection and just opportunity to explore and research and see like, okay, what are the logistics behind this and what resources are available for me right now for what I
Mhm.
can do versus trying to, as I say, focus on the tree, not the forest type of approach. So I've just
Right.
been taking that approach ever since. So it's like I said, it's an honor to be here. Like I said, this is my first time being on a collab, and I'm looking forward to all the other collabs that come, as fruit from this for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So, Jasmine, I want to pivot just right quick. I, I kind of for my edification, I'm sure others who are listening, the platform. Let's talk about the podcast. Can you give us just a little insight as to what you do, what you try to do, your expectations? What does that look like?
So the platform name came from me not really being able to hone in on like my what I like to call jack of all trades type of personality in mind.
Okay.
Um, I like to discuss so much. I couldn't really narrow it down to just one niche podcast about this topic or this even category of topics because I just feel like I'm such a vast person
Right.
and I have vast interests and I want the room to be able to explore these things. Now, the central focus is definitely around, social awareness and
Okay.
education and lifestyle, even just I even use it sometimes. I record things as a social, but look, as they say, party trick. I'll
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
friends come over
Yes.
and we just record something just because I think that it's important, even if it's not something that ends up being published, or I might publish it later as a behind the scenes thing or whatever. Just creating those opportunities to really document real conversations, because me in my personal life, I'm the type that likes having real conversations. So it's nice to be able to foster that in a specific space for people who don't necessarily get that opportunity to share that personal experience with me. So,
True. So true.
yeah.
Cool. No, okay. All right. Well, we're turning up the volume. Hey, no pressure, right? No pressure. But
No, no, I can't handle it. I can't handle it. Look, my roots are from Louisiana and Texas.
under the auspices of Women's History Month, whose shoulders, a woman, more than one woman, or what have you, do you stand on? And the question is twofold from a personal perspective and professionally.
I would say personally, aside from my mother, because literally, how would I be here?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have
That's
to
my
always
girl,
say,
y'all. Her
okay,
mother's
yeah,
one of my girls.
literally.
Is my big
On
sister.
I was just about to say, on so many levels, she's the reason me and you connected in the first place. So not only being able to experience life on this world, but even being here collabing with you,
Right.
I stand on her shoulders for a vast number of things. So I can't, I can't skip over her at all.
Absolutely.
But at all. But through her, um, in kind of in the reverse as well, my grandmother on my maternal side,
Oh,
Miss
yeah.
Phyllis Johnson. I love her dearly. She's been my heart for a very, very, very long time. I didn't grow up in a traditional sense with my grandmother, like being right
Okay.
down the street or just being easily accessible.
Uh-huh.
Um, Military brat, coming from a military home, you don't necessarily always have that privilege. So to be able to have a close relationship with her, even though I never lived in the same city as her, is such a blessing within itself.
Right.
Um, and I can't help but talk about her and just because I pray all the time. Like, I'm the youngest grandchild. I also have to add that in there. I'm the youngest grandchild in my generation, of course.
Oh, okay.
So to be able to have a close relationship with my grandmother, she's still here, she's still alive and well, and I to be able to still live and show her that her efforts and her legacy is going to be fruitful, like, it's a privilege. It's definitely a privilege. So definitely
Exactly.
with her.
That's cool. Is there, and I'm only asking you this because you're in law school. Is there that one woman that stands out, attorney, judge, whomever, who comes to mind?
Ironically, it's not an attorney. I know I have to be the
Oh,
person that has to be
okay,
different. Ooh,
okay,
you have to be different. That's me. No. It's not, and it's not even really that different because she's an inspiration to generations. It's not just me, but Angela
okay.
Davis. Angela
Oh,
Davis was, I mean, like, I'm gonna say, going back, I like so far back, I can't even really remember how long. Like, she's been someone who inspired me on so many levels and different facets of Black womanhood and
uh-huh,
Blackness in general, and what it means to be a Black woman in America, from America, and
uh-huh.
what all that into having lineage from this country and knowing the history and being educated, having parents who invest in your brain and knowledge and making sure that you know what's going on
Exactly.
around you and what's happening, and instilling in you that you should want to share that. Even like, she's very profound to me. Like, her work and her impact on this world is very profound to me, for sure.
Yeah, I can relate myself. Yeah, everything you said, absolutely. So
For
you
sure.
you you kind of address where I was going to go next, but like the impacts, those women made on your life and others close around you, like your mom. I know you can go on and on about your mom, your grandma, Miss Davis, and such. But anything else you want to add in terms of like specific impacts that you've garnered from them?
Definitely. I would definitely start with my grandmother is a driven woman, very not afraid of hard work, like, not afraid to do what it takes to get a job done, no
Okay,
matter what is required of her. She's gonna get it done, and she's going to make sure she does it to her best ability. She's gonna make sure it's done to her best ability every time. And although I don't know if I have that as strongly as she does, I will
okay,
admit the
okay.
generational difference does differ. Okay. The generational difference, it does. But she's an example of why it's so important. She's an example of how you have to keep that alive to continue to create generations of people who think like we do, and
Yeah,
who
yeah,
value
yeah.
the things and the parts of life that we value. And that's not just, you're not born with that. You have to be molded to think that way and understand the seed to the sprout to the tree level of
Yes.
that process. So definitely would say that's a big one. And she's a an example, and I'm sure my mother would agree, an example of how failures per
Hmm.
se
Uh-huh.
are just opportunities to recalculate the data.
I like
Everything
that.
is
I
just an
like that.
opportunity to do it better the next time. Like that doesn't define who you are, what you're capable of, or what you will do. And I think that knowing that even in the moment, sometimes it doesn't feel all that great, or it's
Uh-huh.
hard, or it's lonely, it's isolating, it's all these things. It
Right.
can be
Right.
all these emotions that negative emotions that come with it. But ultimately, like if you know your purpose and you know where your source lies, you
Mm.
there's nothing that can really take you away from that but
Mm.
yourself. So it's
That
like that reminder to always like go back to what you know to recenter yourself if you ever, because life like you said, life can life sometimes.
ooh, life be life, and doesn't it? Ooh.
To be able
Ooh.
to to self-correct and do things like that, it requires a level of humility and also a level of knowing like where who supports you and who knows you and who loves you and cherishes
Exactly.
that goal.
Yeah. No, I love the way you framed that. And I'm gonna tell you, speaking of purpose, you touched on purpose and expounded on that a bit. How do you want to be remembered though, with respect to your purpose, your aspirations, etc.?
That's always another one of those, I guess, a loaded question. Just because you want to, at least someone like me, I can't speak for everyone, but someone like me wants to leave as wide and vast of a legacy as you can, make sure your impact is sustainable even.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think that sustainability of not only educating people, but valuing knowledge and the
Yeah,
power that comes from knowledge and awareness.
I like that. Yeah.
That overall, like no matter what career pursuit I know I want to go down, whether it's education, whether it's being an attorney, whether it's social activist, whatever, podcasting, it's always centered back to how can I expand someone's mind. Like I
Mm.
genuinely enjoy not only the expansion of my own mind, but to be able to share that with another person and to see the light bulbs come on for people, or just to hear how when the light bulb, even if I wasn't there when the light bulb came on, how the light bulb coming on led to things down the line.
Yes.
Even just knowing that seeds are being planted and that there's a garden that you're growing called your network or whatever people want to call it. People have different ways of articulating that concept, but
Yes.
that garden that you're creating, and you have to sow into these relationships and sow into these, in different ways, and have to approach things. Sometimes some things are seasonal, some things aren't.
Right.
It's
Right.
it's just it's a privilege to be able to do that and to be able to impact real people's lives, like not necessarily like for the recognition of it all, but just
Hmm.
for the satisfaction of knowing like you touched someone's life, like you made someone's life better. That's the best. That's the best gift I feel like you
That
could
is
really give.
that's one of the best gifts. I totally agree. I'm gonna tell you, your analogy of this garden, whoo, making it grow. It's a garden. It feeds people, right? This is nutritional value, and I'm gonna write about this garden. I keep you posted on it.
I love anything. Fun fact about me, I wanted to be a biology major. Clearly, that's not where I ended
Uh-huh.
up. But growing up,
Uh-huh.
I always loved animals and science and the earth, and I always loved it just because I felt like it was such a reflection of how God's beauty. Like it's just amazing to think
It's
we all
amazing.
live this huge planet, and we all have different purposes, and it all
Yeah,
comes together for the greater good at the end of the day. And it's just it's a concept that I love to nature in general. So if we ever collab again, and I'm always making nature puns or nature analogies, that's why I love, because we are nature. We
we
are
are
nature.
nature.
To make those analogies, it makes it everything feel more connected for me. So
I like that. I like it. Jasmine, I thanks for sharing that. And I really appreciate you joining me for this spotlight, yeah, in observance of Women's History Month. We will be doing it again in some capacity.
for sure,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
for sure. Yeah. And so just thank you again so much. And to the audience, thanks for tuning in to another segment of the Life Writing Show. Subscribe to the channel, like a video that resonates with you, comment and share. The show is another way we creatively inspire and inform people to write the lives they desire. Take care.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, everyone. Nice to meet you.